On your mark. Get ready. It's time to go the distance for sports news and sports review. Get ready. It's The Pitch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pitch. As always, I'm your host, John Fox. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope everyone is staying safe, sanitizing, taking all the proper precautions. If you're going outside, going to the grocery store, whatever you're doing, hope you're wearing masks. Be sure to be wearing gloves if you're touching anything. Don't touch your face. Stay safe during this quarantine. But we're going on to month 2 right now of no sports. It's just definitely a crazy time throughout the world, throughout America, for us Americans. Just no sports. We've never seen anything like this before, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about sports, obviously. There's always going to be time to talk about sports. So, having said that, we have some news. Jalen Green, high school basketball recruit, is going to the NBA G League Pathway Program. We have Mitch Sabbatelli. You can address yourself right now, Mitch. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys. How are you? I didn't know if you could see me earlier in the Zoom or not. So.
No, we couldn't yet. We wanted to save it for my good looks.
Gotcha.
To start off.
It's a nice hat too.
Thank you. It's a 1931 vintage replica Red Sox hat.
I wish I had a hat for my no haircut, but no supercut has been tough. But
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's weird just not being able to go anywhere for the last 2 months. All right, Jalen Green going to the NBA G League Pathway Program. Thoughts on this and what it means to the NCAA?
Well, this is actually really big news. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know too much about Jalen Green, a guy from high school, but just the fact that somebody is bypassing, obviously, with the whole NBA one-and-done policy where you have to go to at least 1 year of college. Now for the NBA to have this G League pathway, it really shows something about the NCAA and how there's going to be a lot more people like LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, when they went right from high school. You look at guys like LaMelo Ball, who might be actually the first overall pick if it's not RJ Hampton this year. He might be the one or two pick this season, and he went overseas to play. And now with this whole new thing with the NBA, it's going to hurt the NCAA for sure. And he's going to get $500,000 for doing this pathway system. Now, obviously, not every player will be able to go into this pathway system. You have to have that kind of skill to be able to do so. But it's definitely going to hurt the NCAA by having these top recruits going straight directly into the NBA, or basically their farm league system, if you want to put it in minor league terms.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt the bottom line. I mean, guys like Zion Williamson, just using his name, maybe he did want to still go to college. If you still want to go to college, you're going to go. But I think if you, instead of having to go to college, by having this other idea, it's going to hurt them.
Okay. Great take. Moving on, big news. Christian McCaffrey signs a 4-year, $16 million extension. Is that worth it for him?
Yeah, I think it has to be because, Cam Newton, obviously Christian McCaffrey is the face of the franchise now. I think they're moving on from not only Cam Newton, but also Kyle Allen. So I think they're going to have, now with Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterback at the helm, they needed that guy that still, well, we don't know if they're going to be filling seats this year, but theoretically filling in seats, the guy that can drive the merchandise and be that guy, especially for the new coach there and Rule. They need that stable figure to kind of build around. Now, is he going to be able to catapult your team into a Super Bowl by himself? Obviously not. But for a guy that young and to be that good, probably the best running back in the league, if not one of the best players in the league, you got to pay him because he's basically a receiver and a running back. But to put that in terms of about the money, to show you how much more money that players in the NBA and MLB get, Ian Mahimi, the center, has the exact same contract as Christian McCaffrey. So to put that in terms of that, it shows how much more money these players in the NBA and MLB are getting.
It's just ridiculous too, because they get I'm gonna sit out this game, just to rest myself, yada yada yada. 82 game season, it's just ridiculous. NFL players are putting I know, granted, it's only 16 games, but it's like the most physical contact you can
Right.
inflict on somebody. They're seriously injuring their bodies.
Right.
I mean, with potential long-term effects, and they're making what some player in the NBA makes to just basically chill out. Like
right.
that's
There's a misnomer there that people think that, oh, the NFL only plays once a week. No, they only play officially once a week, but they're playing every day in practice and beating themselves up. It's only one actual game. But yeah, like you said, it's crazy how it's the most demanding sport. Obviously, they're getting paid very well, but just to put that into perspective, the best player in the game is only getting 4 years, 16 million.
Yeah, like I love
that contract for them.
I've never watched the NBA, and then just when somebody made the most physical contact against another player, I was just like, oh my god,
right?
Like, is that guy okay? Like, no, that it just doesn't happen. Other than like dislocating your ankle or breaking a bone coming out.
And especially with everything going on, CTE and stuff, it's tough to. You're actually putting your body at risk. And that's why guys like people like Luke Kuechly are retiring at 28, 29, instead of keeping their careers as far as they are going. And I think you're going to see more and more NFL players retire early. And I also think that, with the extra games now with the NFL, they're going to have bigger contracts. But I think both sides worked out well here.
All right, so the XFL is filing for bankruptcy. Is this the end of the XFL? And thoughts on the XFL, if it is?
Yeah, I think both of us wanted the XFL to work. I think it was interesting at its face to have a second league in the off season to kind of really root for, and
Yeah, I think we just wanted it for fantasy purposes because we're scoundrels betting on the XFL.
But as far as the product in the field, it really wasn't that great. You watched a couple of these games, and even the offensive-minded teams still weren't really putting enough of a product in the field. There was really guys that some guys stood out, like P.J. Walker, who's now going to be, I guess he got a job as a backup, again, for the Carolina Panthers. So I think that helped out with a couple other players to kind of put some in showcase. It's too bad, though. I think that if the XFL did go for another year, I think you would have seen more and more notable players that got cut from the NFL try to resurrect their career in the XFL. It's just tough that with the coronavirus, it really affected that league per se because they only had 1 year. But as far as the XFL goes, I think if it wasn't for the virus, it definitely would have gone on. And, who knows, because they're filing for bankruptcy now, maybe they can strum up some business as we go along. There might be some more fan intrigue and more, player intrigue as this thing winds down. But for right now, it doesn't look good for the XFL. And, as a viewer, a fair weather fan of the XFL, it was kind of as I thought it was. It wasn't better than I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't terrible because I still think it was entertaining. It was something to watch. But hopefully they give you one more chance at this XFL thing, maybe one more year, and get a couple more notable players out there. But this doesn't look good right now.
Mitch, who is your favorite XFL team? Give me a top 2 out of the 8 teams.
So I looked at the teams, and I literally scanned. I needed to be a fan of some team. I needed to root for some team. So I just went down the standings, literally blindfolded myself, and was like, what team am I going to pick? And I picked the Tampa Bay Vipers. I've been rolling with Tampa Bay Vipers. And it looks like I picked
Washington.
the wrong Tampa Bay team because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the team in Tampa for sure.
I like DC. You like DC?
Yeah, the DC Defenders. Yeah, they're good.
They're pretty
in
cool.
the vicinity of we're obviously from the New England area, so they're in that New England.
I was banking on going to an XFL. We were banking on going to an actual XFL game.
It would have been fun. It would have been fun. But I think hopefully, right now I would say it's 50-50 for them to come back next season. But definitely, I think they would have had a really good shot if it wasn't for the coronavirus to come back, which didn't look too good 2 years ago.
Before we move on to my next question, do you think this? Can you see the COVID-19 quarantine affecting the NFL? Opening in September?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to affect a lot of things, and I think a lot of people don't really realize that. Yeah, it starts in September, but like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of off season that the OTAs and training
because
camp.
now they're expecting it to a second wave to break out in the fall of COVID-19, which is just crazy. It's like I understand where they're coming from, but it's like, how can you anticipate that?
Yeah,
Like,
you can't. I think they have to go on the basis of what's going on currently. They wouldn't be
I
able to
mean,
do that.
of course, if
happen.
people, who are sick now, aren't abiding by the rules, and then we lift the curfews, the quarantine, the going outside ban in some states. If we lift that right now, people are just going to go out, like we were saying last episode. I think it was last episode. My girlfriend and I have been, just driving around to get out of the house every so often, not a lot. And we're like on beautiful days in March, like we're seeing like people we never saw go outside before. It's like,
yeah,
okay, you really need to stay inside as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we're seeing like large groups of people right now, personally. And it's like, you're going to ruin everything you're going to ruin it for America. You're going to ruin it for the world, basically. I don't want to have to be, nobody wants to have to be locked inside during summer. I mean, but I could see it, that's the only way that I could think, like people could be sick over the summer if people aren't, abiding by the rules right now, and then it could just pick back up again when the weather shifts. So I really hope that's not the case, because
to piggyback off that, I think one thing you were saying there is about once things do come back, I don't think fans will really be back necessarily, and definitely for the other three sports. So baseball, including baseball, which obviously is going to have a smaller season if they do come back, which I do think they will. NHL and NBA already know, if they do have a playoffs or some kind of a simulated regular season before the playoffs, there's not going to be any fans. I know that firsthand. There's not going to be any fans. So I think that's going to trickle down into the NFL. I heard a rumor that the MLS might actually be the first league to come back, which
that was my next question. What was going to be the first sport to come back?
I think it might be the MLS, which the whole no fans policy won't really affect them too much because they don't really have money to begin with. So I think that could be an easy transition. But I think it would be good for the MLS. I mean, I think whatever league does come back first is going to have a huge, huge upswing on popularity. I know we're going to talk about a little bit later about how they try to do these kind of weird events where, the virtual events and stuff, but it's just not going to be the same thing. I think even leagues like soccer or NASCAR or something that doesn't have the same kind of fan intrigue. I know for somebody like myself, who's not the biggest soccer fan in the world, as soon as the Revolution play, if they're coming back, I'm watching that game. So I think that's going to be huge. And I think with the whole thing, I think like what you were saying earlier, I think that America primarily has done a really good job at staying in there. Obviously, there's a few outliers and anomalies here and there that, go out there and still have, do what they want to do. I think that first week or so was really tough, and people, once they got more informed and had that more knowledge, they were starting to stay more in their house. And I think people did really well that first month. I think now that we're on the second month, I think I know I look forward to the daily briefing with Burks and Fauci every day, and I look and try to make sure that I can really assert myself and kind of make sure I know all of the points of what's going on with the coronavirus. And I think more people should be doing that, making sure they are staying up to, make sure they keep up with all the stuff, because things are changing. Data is changing and everything. Yeah, and I think when they look,
I live in an apartment complex, and there's people that are just like, conversing like right outside my door. It's like, we live right next to the laundry room, and it's like, dude, like, don't do that. Like, you're not supposed to be doing this right now. Like, especially if you're over 60 years.
Yeah. I don't think there's really too much excuse for, I think March and April in particular, people should really, especially because in the New England area, I know right now Massachusetts is number 3 after New York and New Jersey for
it's just like most populated areas.
So you got to really stay in at least, through the whole guidelines right now. I think it's May 4th, and
Connecticut is on well. What's the New York ban right now? There's like a ban on Connecticut is like late May.
Yeah, I think they're late May. I know right now
we're like what are we,
May 4th? I think it's going to be extended, but it's tough. I think we're primarily doing pretty well. Like you said, there's going to be some people that aren't going to be taking.
Are you personally wearing masks when you go?
Oh,
outside?
everywhere I go, yeah. Even if I go walk my dog, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you don't really need to do that if you're going outside, but I feel like every time you go out there, it's better safe. I guess.
Us living in an apartment building, we definitely have to do that. I at least definitely wear the mask when I'm going outside to the car, and once we've been driving around in the car a little, I might take it off for just a little.
Yeah.
It's as long as we're in the car.
I don't wear the mask in the car ever.
Yeah.
I've noticed if I go to grocery shopping, I'll be in the car, be fine, and then when I leave the car, I'm putting the mask on, get the stuff, come back. I'm big on the gloves too, so I've been doing the gloves and stuff. Come back, and then the mask is right off. But
you just need what we've been doing is we've been just like stockpiling food. Like whenever we go to the grocery store, we dish out like almost $300 something.
So you're one of those hoarders?
Not really. We just eat all the food because we're fat.
We did it. We were a culprit for my family and I were a culprit for the toilet paper hoarding early, but I think we kind of lay down on that a little bit.
Yeah, my girlfriend's mother sent us a care package of 10 toilet paper rolls. She didn't tell us that she put in dish soap in it, liquid dish soap. The liquid dish soap exploded, and 7 of the 10 toilet papers were ruined.
Yeah, at that point, I would just use paper
defeating
towels
the purpose of the care package. But thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
I just thought it was hilarious.
I would take care of that one.
Really.
It's been an adjustment. I think everyone's still kind of adjusting to it. I think finally people are starting to get a little antsy and tired of everything, but they got to keep on going strong until everything's all over with. And but yeah, you could definitely. I feel like in this week in particular, like people like even like my mom's starting to like realize how to use Zoom and everything. So just by that factor, I think it's time to start, entering phase 1 of getting everybody back into the workforce. It's gone on a little bit too long, but you got to keep it going until everything, dissipates.
Come on in Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom just gets like sued by Zoom.
Yeah. I don't know how much money they have.
That's a 80s, 90s.
That P.O. box is filling up.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch some Zoom later now. But moving on, Mitch, speaking of watching things, have you watched any of the virtual sports, like the horse competition or the NBA 2K competition?
Well, I don't know if John, did you personally, before I answer it, did you personally watch either of them?
I did not.
Okay, so
like even though I'm in quarantine right now, I do have a life.
Yeah, I do have other Netflix shows to watch.
Yes.
So the thing is with the horse, and it kind of seemed pretty cool, the idea of a bunch of former players and NBA players and WNBA players playing horse. It was terrible. The 2K thing was decent because I'm never going to watch a player play another video game, especially of themselves. It was just strange. But what was cool was the banter between the two players when they're playing each other. Like Patrick Beverley made the show. I only watched 2 episodes, but he was awesome. He deserves his own reality show. Like he was so the fun of that reality of the virtual 2K game. Watching the game itself was terrible, but their back and forth and smash talk was kind of cool from 2 players that you knew. That horse game was absolute trash. Like every one of the camera angles, I don't know what happened with it, and I know it's none of their fault because you just kind of put the camera up there. It was just really bad. Like it was people's Tamika Catching is one of my favorite WNBA players. She was out there. She had a really, really terrible driveway setup, and you couldn't even see if she was hitting the shot or not.
Yeah.
It was very weird. Nobody was really practicing their shots. They were kind of just
watching all
up there and hoping. Like Chauncey Billups was like.
You're just watching all rich, wealthy people just play in there.
Right. Yeah. It was basically a showcase of who has the best outside basketball court. And I'll tell you, Trae Young really he was missing like normal 3-pointers on like a Spalding crappy basketball hoop that you would see in like somebody's back there. It was really, really weird. And it was like Paul Pierce was getting killed by Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine did pretty well. Like I watched a lot of it and I really shouldn't have. I think I just lost the remote, but I just kept it going, and it was really like it didn't get better. It was not like I was picturing more of a dunk contest type vibe, and it was not that. So I know they haven't even crowned a winner yet. Hopefully they fix that and make sure like the camera crews kind of realize that, okay, we need to get a little bit more lighting here, or have somebody turn on a light in the backyard. I know it's tough dealing with just being at somebody's house, but it was terrible.
I just could imagine. I don't even need to just by just by them stating that they were going to hold those, I was like, okay,
Yeah, it was rough.
That's going to be cringe.
It was tough. It was. I mean, seeing Chauncey Billups trying to miss a layup, it was rough. It was rough.
All right. Well, just a personal question. What have you been doing to keep busy right now? Like in the sports world, like what sites, media sources have you been using personally for rumors, for sports rumors, acquisitions, trades? What sites have you been, keeping, posted to?
It's been tough, man. I mean, I've been trying to look at, trying to keep tabs and everything, but nothing's really going on, like I said, ESPN's really hurting. Everything's hurting, but they're another entity of like a bunch of businesses that are failing because of this whole thing. And that's one big thing. To get my sports, I've been reading, and I never read books, but I was reading a book the other day. So that's basically the peak of Corona. I'm reading books, but
we did a 1,000-piece puzzle, and now we don't have any other puzzles, and puzzles are like back on Amazon for the next like 5 years.
So basically what I've been doing too is that every day I've been watching a movie. I have this long list of all these movies I want to see. I know you're a big movie buff. You have all the DVDs in the back.
Right,
and I've been watching a movie on that list every single day. And today I watched Team America World Police that I'd never seen.
Oh, it's a classic. Are you serious?
Yeah, I never seen it. But I've watched literally the last 30 days or so. I've watched like 45 movies that I've never seen. So
watch like a good quarantine movie.
Checking those off the list.
There is a movie called Quarantine with Deb from Dexter. Her name Jennifer Carpenter. I've never seen it, but it's called Quarantine.
I'll put it on the list. What have you been doing, John? So with everything going on, just kind of
literally just Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, Tiger King. Tiger King has consumed the last like week and a half. We were savoring it. Yes, the interview style one with Joel McHale.
Yeah, I haven't seen it
That'd
yet.
be the after show. That was pretty funny. I find it kind of like weird that Joel McHale came out of nowhere like for that one. Like he hasn't kind of been like. I feel like he hasn't kind of been like doing stuff
relevant since
for the last like
community,
like 5 or 6 years. But it was funny.
It's weird. I think they're making a Tiger King movie. I think they're having like Kate McKinnon be Carol Baskin. So I think they're like trying to audition for who can be certain different people in the movie.
They should have like Dylan Passage like holding up Joe like on the mountaintop, like the lion, the Tiger King.
Yeah, more and more things are coming out on it. It's strange, but it is, it's something to do when you're stuck here. What else is on Netflix? I was just watching. It's a really corny show, but Bruise Brothers really good.
I'm not. I'm not a big fan of Netflix at the moment because I feel like they just keep alternating the same stuff over and over again. It's like like 3 months from now they put what they took off 3 months ago. It's like okay, like they produce their Netflix series, their Netflix, movies, but then nothing else really. I mean, they should have a bigger library. I feel like because they're kind of
there's a lot of shows out there that people like.
Like a monopoly at this point, because it's like there's nowhere you can. I mean, you got Netflix, you got Amazon Prime, you got Hulu. Everybody's trying to do Disney Plus now. So yeah.
They all got different ones, but I'm just trying to crank out. The good thing is I didn't see too many of those classics, 80s and 90s movies, so I'm cranking those out. Almost finished Netflix at this point. But like you said, a lot of those shows that people are like talking about, oh, this one's really good, you gotta check this one out. I think if it was just a regular on regular TV, nobody will be watching it. But
well, like I said, we did the puzzle. That took about a week because we were kind of just like laid back. And then we kind of picked up our pace the last 2 days and we finished that. And now we have nothing to do. We have board games. We've played cards a few times, like, blackjack, concentration, the matching game.
I'm getting pretty good at gin rummy.
Yeah. Oh, we've been dueling each other in Scrabble. I just played some guy just like challenged me and he played Augites to start the game for 70 points. They were just all one.
So you're in the hole at the beginning.
Oh
So,
yeah, and then I literally just got vowels and he just murdered me like 30 point plays every time, other than the 70 points.
That's the thing. You got to have a couple good those high priced consonants to go with those vowels.
Our producer Michelle she's signaling that she beat you.
Oh yeah, she beat me once.
She beat me once. Yeah, yeah. It's been pretty much just social media. I've been making memes. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some Tiger King memes, some quarantine COVID-19 memes.
But memes are keeping everybody occupied during the quarantine, so it's good. Everyone's kind of internet undefeated.
There was a meme of a building tipping over, and there was pillars, and each pillar was like, one pillar was like things keeping up America, like memes. America was the building. Like it was.
Yeah, they're crazy. I wish we had a couple more to go, but this.
Yeah. All right. Well, we only have I think we only have like 2 to 3 minutes, but I have a personal question. I have a question.
Oh yeah, keep it going. I don't know how much time we had left.
Sports related. We have 2 minutes. Do you think Rob Gronkowski will? It's been in the news. Do you think Rob Gronkowski will come out of retirement either this year or next year? I know he's all his business with WWE right now, and it makes it look unlikely. But do you think he could meet up with Tom Brady in Tampa at any point within the next 2 years?
I don't think so. So the thing is, if he comes back, he's actually on Patriots. Like they would have to sign him for a little bit and then sign and trade him, or some kind of weird NFL rule there. I don't think he will come back. I thought if Tom Brady came back, that would have with the Patriots. I think that would have been open for discussion. I don't think Gronk will, after 2 years, come back to another franchise that he doesn't know. He doesn't know the organization, and for the sole fact of just coming back for Brady to potentially win another one would make kind of not too much sense with everything going on. I do think Gronk was a little bit irritating after he retired. As big of a Gronkowski fan as it was, I think he was a little annoying with the whole, oh, will I be back? Won't I be back? And then finally, making up that announcement about how he had the beach party thing. I think he knows what he's doing. He knows his niche. He went out there, especially with, like I said earlier in the show, Luke Kuechly and other people retiring at early ages. Yeah. I think he knows what's going on. I think he also has the CBD thing going on with him. He has the wrestling and the Fox stuff. I think he has enough going on where it would make no sense. Although, if Tom Brady was back in the Patriots uniform, I did think that Gronk would be back this year. And I just don't see it happening because Brady has to make a big adjustment. And I just don't see it. But, he is in that Florida area, so it's open discussion.
Very odd times we're living in right now. Very odd.
Yeah, I mean,
quarantine. No
can't leave. Tom Brady
with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like what the?
2020.
I just blurted out sometimes. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was watching.
Like, what the hell is going on right now? Like,
I just watched. I have seen Terminator, but I just watched Terminator again, and they were going back to 2029. I'm like, it's kind of accurate at this point. Like everything going on, like.
Yeah, all
virus and everything.
All 80s movies, it says like 2010.
Yeah.
The world apocalypse.
They still have those boxy computers in the background.
Yeah.
They didn't get that right, but they have everything else right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of The Pitch. We covered everything that we could cover with basically no sports news other than, some minor NFL updates, But we can only hope for the best. We can only hope that we have our sports, our 4 main sports back very soon. So until then, until next show, hope everybody stays safe. Everybody abides by the rules right now. Just stay safe, everyone. Follow us on every social media platform. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And until next time, you've just watched The Pitch. Take care, guys.